We've got an expansion team showdown for the first game ever for both of these teams here in Climate Pledge Arena. Also the first game of the in-season tournament for both of these teams. A lot of firsts going on. An A+ home court advantage here in Seattle. Let's see what we can do against the team that picked against us in the expansion draft. Ball swings it over to P.J. Washington here, trying to drive it in on Siakam. Tough shot, but the first ever basket for the Vancouver Blizzard is up and in, courtesy of P.J. Washington. Good defense there on that possession, but a foul on the jump shot there is going to give Seattle their first point of the game, though Middleton would split his free throws. Missed there by Anunoby, and now a nice play there by Seattle, getting a clean look for Van Vliet. Off the mark, though. Pushing ahead to P.J. Washington. Inside. Strong move against Fred Van Vliet, and he has the first two baskets of the ball game for the away team. Pump fake gets Lonzo in the air, but the feed inside to Williams will be off the mark. Strong defense there from Jalen Duren. PJ bringing the ball up. Lonzo, a pump fake himself, gets Van Vliet in the air, and he drives it in strong for the basket. 6-1 early. Seattle really having a tough time offensively. Just 1 point. We're already over 3 minutes into the ball game. They give the ball to Bill, who gets the bank shot to go on the mid-range jumper. Siakam with the ball now, guarded by Duren. He loves that spin shot, and it works for him there for 2. Anunoby with it. Nothing doing this possession for Vancouver. Ball forced to heave up. A late shot clock 3, but it falls for him. 9-5 Vancouver. Solid defense there from Anunoby to force the Middleton miss. Josh Green going up top for Duren, but is tipped away and stolen by the Sonics. Van Vliet finds a wide open Bill in the corner. A little bit of a defensive breakdown there, and Seattle makes it just a 1 point ball game here as we reach the halfway point of the first quarter after the timeout. Nothing doing there. Seattle going the other way. Williams to quickly back to Williams up top for the two-handed slam on the alley-oop. That's how you do the alley-oop, not how Josh Green did it there earlier on in the first quarter there. Anunoby misses another 3 there. Tough start for him offensively, but Williams starting to get heated up on the interior for the Sonics as they now lead this ball game. That one's up and falls through after a strong bounce off the rim for Josh Green, his first points as a Vancouver Blizzard. Siakam with a nice drive. Puts up 2 more points for Seattle. P.J. Washington off the catch is no good. Seattle going the other way. Siakam again from that short mid-range area gets another one to fall, forcing another Vancouver timeout as Seattle leads by 4. This Vancouver offense is ice cold. We bring in Isaiah Joe to try to jumpstart it, but his first jumper of the season is off. Beal with a miss as well. A strong rebound there by Jalen Duren, heavily contested. Middleton gets a mismatch against Isaiah Joe. We need to bring the help defense, and Seattle takes advantage in a big way with the flush from Robert Williams, having himself a strong first quarter. Middleton left too much space beyond the arc, and Seattle really starting to take over here in this first quarter. This Vancouver offense has gone ice cold, but finally we get something down the barrel with the P.J. Washington flush. Middleton's starting to heat up now. It's been Siakam and Middleton mostly for this first quarter. P.J. Washington, he's got 9 points of the 17 for Vancouver. Been our best offensive player here in the first quarter, but Middleton having his way here at the end of the first. Capella up and in with 3 seconds left in the first quarter. Gonna be a double-digit Seattle lead after 1. Vancouver only able to muster 17 points. That's not gonna be good enough here. We need to be better. Brogdon checks in to start the second quarter and laces home a 3-pointer there to bring it back down to 10. Now he's on the drive. A tough shot goes up and in. A nice start to the game for Malcolm Brogdon. Siakam, step back off the mark. Finally able to force a rare miss from him. Here he is again going against Kevin Love. Probably a favorable matchup for Seattle, and he gets another basket. Brogdon, a strong start to the second quarter for him. It's a 7-point ball game. Quickly now with it. Driving downhill on Brogdon. Gets the baskets. Gets the foul on top of it. That and one puts Seattle back on top by 10. But Lonzo Ball with a tough three. He's made a couple of those in this game. Makes it 7. Quickly going downhill again. But nice defense by Brogdon to force the miss. If I had to name the strength of this team, I'd probably say our perimeter defense. But right now, it's Brogdon's downhill scoring ability. That's something that we weren't able to show much of at all in the first quarter. Brogdon doing a nice job here in the second. 35-30 here as Brogdon has it once more. This time trying to find some space in the mid-range, and he hits another shot. On fire so far. Al Horford, a good look beyond the arc, and he puts it right down the barrel for the three. Now he has it in the post going against P.J. Washington. Took him to school a little bit there. Down low. Lonzo feeds Duran. He gets fouled, and the basket drops as well. A strong finish for our second pick in the expansion draft, the 20-year-old. Somebody we have a lot of hopes for here. P.J. Washington loses the ball, and in transition, an easy basket for the veteran running the floor, Al Horford. Lonzo finds a wide open P.J. Washington, top of the key, and the three-pointer falls. 2-point ball game here as we're under 4 minutes remaining in the second. A miss from beyond the arc from Bradley Beal. Leads to a Lonzo Ball shot, who's also off the mark. Lonzo getting a lot of opportunities from beyond the arc, and he's had some relative success so far. Unable to make that easy one go, though. Josh Green, all the space he needs to hit that three. 45-44, 2.5 minutes remain. Lonzo, tough look, and he drills it. Vancouver back in the lead for the first time in the second quarter, overcoming a double-digit deficit in the quarter, but Robert Williams ties it right back up with a chance to take the lead, which he does from the free throw stripe. Anunoby gets his first Vancouver points onto the board, probably a little bit later than you'd want him to, being our first-round pick, but we did draft him primarily for his defense. Middleton still remains very efficient here in the first half. And with OG Anunoby on him, you'd expect him to maybe cause a little bit more problems, but Chris Middleton's kind of had his way. Down to 10 seconds remaining in the half. Swing to P.J. Washington. Solid look from beyond the arc, but is short. Seattle running the court. Going to be a deep heave from Fred VanVleet. That's off. 52-50 is the score leading into the half. A much better second quarter, especially offensively, from the Vancouver Blizzard. Malcolm Brogdon led the charge there in the second quarter, but Chris Middleton going 5 for 6 from the field on triple-double watch as well. Got to do a better job containing him here in the second half. And as for our team, 14-4-4, Lonzo Ball also on triple-double watch. P.J. Washington has 12 points on 11 shots. Has also played the entire first half. And Malcolm Brogdon, of course, had 12 second-quarter points for our Blizzard. We do force a Middleton miss here to start the second quarter. Starts the second half, excuse me. But he kind of bully balls OG Anunoby in the post to get his first points of the half. Lonzo Ball, a solid look. The leading scorer at halftime for our team. Unable to make his first shot attempt. OG showing some nice defense on the interior, though. So far, 1 for 4 here in the second half for Middleton. Much, much better. Siakam, top of the key, rattles around and down the hatch goes the shot. Vancouver will take a timeout. Don't know if I love the timeout there. It's pretty much almost the same score as when we went in for the half, but Bradley Beal Nice looking jumper there. Lonzo gets a screen from PJ Washington. Has space top of the key, and there's his second basket here of the third quarter. Both teams starting to hit their jumpers a bit. 62-55 for Seattle. Lonzo trying to get something going on the drive. Settles for a pretty rough jumper there, but Robert Williams on the rebound. Looks like he has hurt something on that right leg of his. Hopefully nothing too serious. He has had some injury problems in his career, but Vancouver takes advantage of the extra possession during his second and one of the game. Van Vliet hits a three-pointer top of the key. Been a lot of top of the key three attempts for both teams here. Seems like these defenses are willing to give those up, and it's been kind of varied results on the offensive side. Capella on the offensive board gets an and one of his own. Of course, filling in for the injured Robert Williams. Lonzo, clean look, strokes in another long ball for the Vancouver Blizzard. It's been a very important piece of our offense here in game one. Middleton attacking downhill on Josh Green. Gets the foul. Gets the basket. A lot of Middleton's damage has been done when he's not guarded by OG Anunoby, to be fair. But you still got to do a better job against Chris Middleton. Seattle leads by a dozen. Brogdon inside. What a pass to Jalen Duren. Lonzo Ball and Malcolm Brogdon, these two veteran point guards we selected in the expansion draft, have probably been our two best players on the offensive side of the ball tonight. OG splashes home a three. Need to get him going here if we want to come back and erase this 10-point deficit. Pascal gets a screen from Capella and feeds him on the inside. The two-handed flush makes it a dozen. The lead for Seattle. Lonzo, good look there. He is certainly taking a lot of threes here in this game. And one of the questions we have for this team is who's going to be our leading scorer offensively. I don't think we drafted somebody who's going to be a clear leading scorer. Maybe an oversight on my part here. But we're going to have to figure out who that player is going to be. So far, it's really just the combination of our point guards doing a large chunk of our scoring today. Nice defense on the interior here. We're back down to single digits, trying to erase the deficit a little further there. And finally, we see OG Anunoby create a little bit, something that we probably are going to have to depend on a bit here in this season if we want to not have a terrible offense. Jalen Duren, turnover there, leads to a quick Seattle bucket on the other end. The lead back out to 9. OG, good look, but it's off the mark. Starting to get a little bit more involved in the offense here in the second half, which I do like. Even with that miss, Van Vliet off the mark with his triple. And that's going to end the third. Seattle back up by 9. The first and third quarters, not super great here by our Vancouver offense, but Isaiah Joe gets the fourth started with a nice three-pointer there. Working in the post. Middleton with a miss. Cam Johnson on the defense. Haven't really heard from him in this game yet. Takes the three there, but he misses it. Middleton. Good contest there by Brogdon. Just a much better job defensively on Middleton. He still, of course, is going to get his on the occasion, but forced a lot more misses on him here in the second half. Brogdon. Working in the post. Tough shot, and he gets it to go. How good has Malcolm Brogdon been here in this game? Middleton, nice job contesting late there by Anunoby. Brogdon unable to find anything this time, so he finds Cam Johnson instead. It's down to a one-point game just like that. The second and fourth quarters have been much better for our Vancouver Blizzard, and you gotta wonder if there's a reason for that or if it's just circumstance here. And tough bucket there by Chris Middleton. As I said, he's going to still get his on occasion. Working the post for Brogdon, and he gets it to fall. This guy has just been awesome for us in this game. 8 points in the paint, 19 points overall off the bench for Brogdon. Going to work offensively here. Pulling up for the jumper. This one won't fall for him after he gets the steal. That could have given us the lead. Horford scores over the top of P.J. Washington down in the post. Johnson pick and pop with OG. He had him for an open three, but sails the pass out of bounds. It will remain a 3-point ball game here. Nice feed inside, but great defense by Lonzo Ball to force the miss. Halfway through the fourth now. Still a 3-point game until that's 3 from Quickly. Doubles that lead. Pump fake here from Lonzo Ball. Nothing doing this possession, but OG Anunoby with the 3, with the shot clock at 1. Great stuff there, and a tough finish on the other end from Fred VanVleet. This game's coming down to the wire here. Final 5 minutes. Who can we get to lead our offense in the final 5 minutes? I think is going to be one of the biggest questions here in Season 1. When we have a close game down the stretch, who's going to keep us in it? Hopefully the defense can keep us in it, but you still got to score some baskets, and P.J. Washington does there. Back to a 1-point game. Quickly to Collins, who rises up and throws it down. For the tie, OG Anunoby, no good on the 3, but a good look. OG for the tie again. This time he drills the shots. 99 apiece, 2.5 minutes left in this game. Let's watch the rest of this one play out. What a fun game it has been here between these two expansion teams. Based on the results of the draft, you have to say that Seattle is probably the better team here for year 1, but we're really giving them a run for their money here on their home court. How do these last 2.5 minutes unfold? Seattle here out of a timeout gets it to Middleton. Passing around here at the top of the key. Beal gonna get the screen. He's gotten some nice mid-range buckets here in the second half, but Middleton, shot clock winding down, forced to put up a tough shot, and OG Anunoby stays home. We get the stop. Can we take the lead? P.J. Washington trying to attack Pascal Siakam, but the defense was good. OG now trying to drive on Capella, gets shut down. Forced to take a tough shot, top of the key with Josh Green. Not the offensive possession you want. And unfortunately, we've had a lot of possessions like that in this game. Don't really have the creation that you want on a basketball team here. Tough to get that in the expansion draft. There were certainly a couple of creators we could have taken. You know, we force ourselves not to take someone like Pascal Siakam, who just hits a huge shot for Seattle. But there were a couple other guys who maybe not, star level talents, but still had some shot creation that we could have taken. If you had to ask me right now, the two things that I really wish, as that was a massive shot there by P.J. Washington, the two things I really wish we could have gotten in the expansion draft was maybe an extra mentor or two, as well as a little bit more shot creation. I focused on, some distributors at point guard and some shooters around them, but you really need a little bit more shot creation than I feel like this team has. So how does this team score consistently? I think it might just not. I think we've seen that in this game. We've had a 17-point quarter, which is just not good enough. Will be a foul there on Josh Green. And we've had some good quarters too. When the defense is rolling and we're able to find open threes, this offense has potential. But especially in these late game moments, you kind of need somebody who can go out and get a bucket. Seattle going to Siakam for this here late in this game. And what a bounce pass inside to Clint Capella. Seattle retakes the lead, 50 seconds left. And the Blizzards call timeout. Siakam showing up big time for Seattle here late in this ball game. He was the highest rated player available in the expansion draft. Of course, Seattle took him with their first pick in the draft. P.J. Washington. Shut down by Siakam, who continues to be strong late. Going to Jalen Duren in the post. That's our possession. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about here. We need a buckets. Final 45 seconds of a game, and we're going to Jalen Duren in the post. That's just not good enough. And then a massive three by Middleton. I mean, Middleton and Siakam have been awesome for the Sonics in this game. I believe those were the first 2 picks for them in the expansion draft. So, really working out for them so far. Need a basket here. Down by 5. Lonzo. Pump fakes. He has Anunoby in the corner. Decides to take it himself and gets fouled. A bit lucky there. I think you got to give it to Anunoby in the corner if you're asking me. He's been much better here in the second half. And Lonzo Ball, he's also been really good for us in this game, but I think you just have a better shot there with OG. Get bailed out by the foul, though, so the game's not over yet. Bradley Beal to the free throw line. Hits the first. And the second goes down as well. It's a 5-point lead. We need to score, and we need to score quickly, or this game will be over. Lonzo. To P.J. Washington. Trying to make something happen on Siakam. We're taking too much time here. We force up a 3 from Lonzo Ball. And that's going to be the game with a miss and the rebound secured by the Sonics. A close game, but ultimately our biggest weakness showed up down the stretch. Lack of shot creation killed us in the end of this game. The Sonics had it. We didn't. Beal ends up with 18 points. He did get things going there in the second half from the mid-range. Really helped out his stat line by the ends. Ultimately, Fred VanVleet going 2 for 12 was really the only bad player in this game, probably. 6 for 16 isn't great for Beal either. Lonzo Ball was not the same player in the second half. Put up 17 threes in this game, making 6 of them. Malcolm Brogdon was awesome. Loved what I saw from him. 50% from the field for P.J. Washington. He was also good. OG Anunoby, much better in the second half. But 5 for 13, still not great. 4 for 9 from 3, though, is really good for OG. Jalen Duren with a double-double alongside P.J. Washington. That's what we get for this game. A close and entertaining loss here to start the season. Probably the first of many L's we're going to take along the road here. For the pacing of this series, I don't really want to commit to anything right now. One thing that I learned from the Rockies series is just to kind of find a storyline I want to talk about every episode and have that kind of determine the pace rather than having a set, we're going to go a month an episode or whatever it might be. And so with that being the case, I do think we're going to go pretty quickly here through the first season. I don't know how much we need to see this expansion team play, but we will hop into a few games along the road, of course, and got to get a couple of home games in there as well. But let's talk about the sliders that were used for this game. And these sliders are taken 100% from Stumpy's channel, and I talked about him in episode 1, but I really deferred to him for the sliders. I liked what I saw from this game. I think realistic scoring output there for a couple of expansion teams. I think 104 to 110 is really good, and you felt like you could hit some wide open shots. You also felt like you could occasionally hit some of the tough shots, but they weren't guaranteed kind of the wide open shots. And that's really the balance that you want. And so as I go here through these sliders, you also have to set the game pace to 55 for these to work out perfectly, which you can do from the settings, gameplay tab, 55 game speed, and that's how you'll get the game to play, similar to how it played here. Of course, playbooks and player skill will play a big factor into how the game will play as well. But really like the results from game 1. Now I want to talk about mentorship here for this first season. There's really only one perfect fit for mentor, and I wouldn't even say perfect fit here, but there's only one highly impactful fit, we'll say that, and that is Kevin Love. One of the oversights maybe from episode 1 is I could have gotten another good mentor, especially for a guy like Josh Green. I feel like he could certainly use a mentor here. Max Christie could use a mentor, and I mean there are solid options. The team auto signs Ricky Rubio for us, so he could, you know, potentially be a solid mentor for a guy like Max Christie, but that's about as good of a fit as we're probably going to get there. So shout out to the CPU for giving us another mentor for free, but Kevin Love mentoring Jalen Duren is probably the most impactful, hopefully helping Jalen Duren with his post fades, with getting those outlet passes out, which I think are going to be very massive. This is the badge that I'm really hoping we can get some progress on with Jalen Duren. The way Coach Powers wants to play is he wants to get out in transition and push the ball, and if we can get our main rebounder with a good badge like break starter, that should certainly help here. And there's that. Now I haven't set training yet, so we're going to do that here together. We're just going to go through pretty much the young guys and set their training. I think for Christie, just two-way is probably the best for him. Jalen Duren, I want him to become a better defender on the interior, so we're going to have him focus on that. Josh Green, I think just going maybe two-way here would be good. Same here for Isaiah Joe. Some other young guys. We got Leonard Miller here. I think if this guy can become a little bit better of a shooter, that's going to help him out. So we'll go outside scoring here. And the rest of the guys, I think, don't really have much room to grow. So we'll just let them be who they are. That's the training regimen here for this season. We're still too early in the year to get any sort of draft preview, so that will have to wait. I'm hoping, depending on how fast we go through this season, we might even get that not next episode but the one after that, and who knows, I might even be able to get it next episode. It just depends on how far we go here. I'm hoping we get a couple of studs here in the class. Last draft only rebuild I did in 2K24, yeah, that's right. We got the number 1 overall pick in our first year. I'm not banking on us being so lucky here again, so I'm hoping we can find, 5 or 6 players that we really like in this class. Likely to take one of them, but that's all I've got here for the episode. We're not going to do any simulating here. Wanted the focus of this episode to be our first ever game against our expansion team rival, also division rival, also our first ever NBA in-season tournament game. Hope you enjoyed the gameplay and the episode. I sure did. We'll be back with more Vancouver Blizzard basketball. And until then, bring the Blizzard.